Hello there everybody, Jordan back again with another ranking video, and today is going to be January 2026, ranking all of the new horror movies that I watched this month. The first one of the year. We haven't done one of these since October 25 because there wasn't too many horror releases in November and December where I thought it was worth doing a video. I like to get 4 titles at least or more, but hopefully we'll get a full year of these. Lots of horror movies coming out. Now, I will admit right off the bat here, guys, this has been a little bit of a rough month. January is usually notoriously rough for movies anyway. But I say, out of the 7 of the 9 movies here, they could have interchanged a lot because they're not great, to be honest. But the top 2 I really liked. But your opinion may differ to mine, so let's just wait and see. So let's get into it now. In 9th place, the worst movie that I watched this month. In 9th place is going to be Iron Lung, which is a movie that is based on an indie video game. And this is directed, written, and stars Mark Fishback, who I believe is a big YouTuber. I've never actually come across his channel, but he went out there and got this thing off the ground. So I've got huge respect to the guy for doing that. He's obviously a big fan of the game. I didn't actually even know this was a video game until about 4 days before the movie came out. So I downloaded it, got about halfway through, went and watched the movie, came home and finished the game. I'm going to say it was a pretty good little indie game. It's a bit weird. It's just about a guy in a submarine trying to find these little points on the map where he can take photos for this research team in a post-apocalyptic future, and he's going through this ocean of blood in a submarine, and that's basically what the movie is. It's a one-location film of this character played by Mark Fishback, who basically does that very thing. And it's over 2 hours long. And whilst I will say Mark Fishback is quite good in the role, I don't think he's got enough to carry the movie. There was some good sound design, some tension building at times. The movie becomes very, very repetitive and just a little bit dull and boring, to be honest. I kind of got the gist of what was going on for the first 30 minutes, and then I got totally lost with this story. There's voices in the intercom telling them things to do and everything. And with the whole lore of this world and everything, it just went right over my head. I'm not scared to admit that, guys. This is just a movie that was way too complex for me personally, and as someone who played the game. Now, if you've never played the game, I don't think this is going to be for you. But for someone who did play the game, admittedly halfway through until I finished it after seeing the movie, it just wasn't for me either. This was a real rough ride to get through. I would say there was a pretty good ending. It felt almost Evil Dead-like with all the blood and everything on screen, and I believe this might be the movie that's used the most gallons of blood in any other film. Don't quote me on that, but I did see someone put that on the internet. But overall, guys, this movie just was not for me. So if you're a fan of this game and you like this film, maybe it's more catered to you because of that. I've seen a lot of hate from people giving YouTubers and reviewers on Letterboxd lots of terrible comments to them because they didn't like the movie. You can only go off your personal opinion. And for me, this is the worst movie I've seen this year so far. So in 9th place is Iron Lung. In 8th place is going to be Mother of Flies, which came to Shudder. And I had high hopes for this because a lot of people had seen this earlier film festivals and everything can give it quite a high score on Letterboxd. I gotta say, I was really let down by this one. This is from the Addams family, who have done a lot of indie projects. They made a movie called The Deeper You Dig, which came to the Arrow video label a while back, and I wasn't a fan of that movie either. But this basically sees this young woman who has got terminal cancer, and she is offered help by this witch who lives in the woods. So she goes there with her father because she's got nothing left to lose anyway. She might as well try it out. There's nothing the doctors can do. And this witch takes her on this 3-day journey for this 3-day cure through the woods and starts doing all these little weird healing processes and everything. And while it was quite interesting to start with, this movie just became very art housey and pretentious in my opinion. A lot of this film is just filming nature, filming tree barks with faces that have been scribed in, lots of weird metaphorical stuff happening. And I just did not like it at all. It felt very, very low budget, very, very amateurish. I'm not saying it's amateurish from the filmmakers. Like, they can obviously make a movie, but it's just the way that it comes across on screen. It just feels like there's not much production value behind it, put it that way. I will say the woman who played the witch was excellent in the role. But yeah, there was just lots of hidden meanings and everything here. And the message, the overall message of the film, I didn't quite get because it just did not make sense to me, to be honest. So overall, guys, another bad movie for Shudder, which had a lot of bad ones last year. But there was some hidden gems. But most of the time, I just didn't get on with their movies. And I hope it's not the case this year. But I can see a lot of people maybe liking this film, and it is catered towards them, just not for me. So that is Mother of Flies. Next up, we have Sleepwalker, starring Hayden Panettiere, and this is a very generic little ghost story where Hayden Panettiere, who lost her child in an accident and left her husband in a coma, is just looking after her son in this house. But she started to sleepwalk, and as she's sleepwalking through the night, she is seeing visions of her abusive husband who is in this coma, threatening her and everything. And then she's seeing like these ghost-like figures in their dream and everything. And sometimes when she wakes up, she's in dangerous positions, like the middle of the road or something. Then it starts happening to her son, and it just feels like she's got to protect him as well. So it feels like a little bit of a curse on the family, while an abusive husband is in this relationship, and it all kind of relates to him. It's like he's coming into the house or into their dreams whilst he's in this coma, which is an okay little idea, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of bad CGI in this movie, like characters turning around. It's meant to be a jump scare with their eyes black and then CGI veins coming across their face. I will say Hayden Panettiere and Beverly D'Angelo put great performances in here. You know, they are the two standout actors in this movie. But I gotta say, the abusive husband was laughable as this guy, because he's trying way too hard to be this nasty piece of work, and it just comes off as funny. Like, I was watching it going, man, he's just acting his way over the top. It's so bad it's good to watch that husband character in this. There's a lot of social commentary on how mentally and physically draining and scarring abusive relationships can be to people, which I appreciated. But overall, guys, a very generic movie, a very generic ghost film that you've kind of seen before. It just loses a sleepwalking aspect to try and mix it up a little bit. Nothing new here. Next up, we have Killer Whale, which sees these two characters trapped on this little rock in this sort of lagoon. And this killer whale is trying to get to them. And anyone who enters the water is instantly killed by this killer whale. So they just can't get off this damn thing, basically. And it almost felt like the movie Fall, where they're stuck on top of that skyscraper. And weirdly, it stars the same actress, Virginia Gardner. So I believe there's probably a little universe there where she is just constantly stuck in different locations. I wonder how many more of these movies she's going to do. And whilst I liked Fall from 2022, I thought that was an awesome little movie. A lot of people hated it, but I really liked it. This ain't it. It feels like The Shallows mixed with The Fall. I mean, that's how I can best describe it. But I gotta say, guys, I think this killer whale was AI. It just didn't look right. It didn't look CGI. It didn't look real. It just looked somewhere in between there. And I'm pretty sure this is an AI whale. The kills were nothing to write home about. A lot of them are just off screen, and you just see a little bit of blood floating in the water there after someone's been killed. The editing was poor, especially involving the kills. I did like the two main characters. There's a little bit of a twist and turn that happens along the way, which you can see coming from a mile off. And the ending, my God, it was the biggest cop-out ever. I mean, like, I was just watching it going, the whole point of this movie, and it's ending this way. Surely that isn't meant to happen. But it did. It was entertaining for the first 30 minutes as we were getting to know these characters and her relationship with the whale and everything, because she knows this whale from like years before. But overall, yeah, bit of a slog for the last hour, guys, to be honest. Next up is We Bury the Dead, starring Daisy Ridley. Now, a lot of people really like this film. I just couldn't get on board with it at all. But there were a few things to like. This sees Daisy Ridley in this kind of, I wouldn't say zombie apocalypse because it's just happened on this one island, but America basically set this nuke off or something, or this warhead onto this island, and it's killed everybody. But some of the dead are coming back to life in zombie form. However, they're not really attacking people or anything. They're kind of just staring into the abyss or look lost. And it's up to Daisy Ridley to join this body sort of pickup team who are collecting the bodies and burying them. But she wants to go there more than anything to find her husband who has been on this island. So she's volunteered, but she also has a purpose of looking for her husband as well. And it was interesting to see a new take on the zombie genre, you know, just having them not really attack people or anything. I thought it was kind of creepy seeing these zombies, who are very well done with the makeup, by the way, staring into space, and you don't know whether they're going to attack or anything. And then after a while, some of them do become a little bit rabid and start attacking people. So it does a little bit of both there. But most of the film is Daisy Ridley just walking around these streets, these empty streets, walking through houses and everything, finding out some information. There's a big scene where we see that humans are worse than the zombies, which happens in every single zombie film now. It's kind of a tired trope for that subgenre. So yeah, it just didn't really do much for me, guys. The zombie attacks, when they happen, are kind of cool, but they are very few and far between. If you come in here for a big zombie outbreak film, you're kind of not going to get it. It's kind of a little bit of a drama movie involving zombies in the background there. A few little twists toward the end that lots of films have done the same kind of thing before. So yeah, Daisy Ridley was fine in this movie. I do think the better standout, though, I forgot the guy's name, was the sort of supporting actor in this film. He was a larger-than-life personality and lit up this movie when he was on screen. So he's the big plus about the film. But unfortunately, guys, I did not like this as much as a lot of people. And I have reviewed some of these movies, guys, in more detail, and this is one of them. So I'm going to leave that down below if you want to go and check out my 2026 horror movie reviews. But We Bury the Dead, wasn't a fan, to be honest. Next up, we have Return to Silent Hill, which is amazing that it's reached this high, considering it looks like it's one of the most hated movies in the past few years. I've seen a lot of people just grate on this film and absolutely hate it and destroy it online, and a lot of it is acceptable, to be honest, because I didn't really like this film. It's just that it's in a month where a lot of dross come out. But what I will say is I have played the Silent Hill 2 game. I liked it. I didn't love it. I only played the remake, which came out last year. It's kind of fresh in my head going into this one. And it is an adaptation of Silent Hill 2. And the first 30 minutes, I was like, what the hell are people complaining about this movie for? It looks exactly like Silent Hill 2. It made me feel like I was back in the video game. I thought they got the whole location spot on. The whole village looked exactly like Silent Hill 2. And I was quite enjoying that first 30 minutes. Then it kind of goes off a cliff and just starts to feel like a very random scene by scene movie where just things are happening and the movie starts to become a little bit complex and convoluted. I was kind of getting lost a little bit here. It does feel like there's a lot of fan service as well that feels random. Like, there's the nurses in the hospital. There's Pyramid Head. Oh, by the way, we're going to let you know very early on what the whole point of Pyramid Head is, even though it's more of a sort of reveal in the game. They play their cards very early on here. And there's the armless creatures as well. And yeah, there's all your Easter eggs there, just randomly thrown in. There's Eddie, you know that guy you fight in the game, Eddie. He's just in one scene in this movie. So it all just felt like stuff thrown to the wall and see what sticks. And they go in some very twisty and turny directions, but it makes the movie jump from past to present to, you know, dreamlike scenarios at times. I was just like, what the hell is this movie trying to do? It had such a strong start and then just fell off a damn cliff. I will say the main actor in this movie who plays James Sunderland was pretty damn good, and the main actress, although they do something with her that is just so funny. Like she's playing 3 different characters in this movie, and it's so jarring when you watch the film and it comes across that way. So this is a poor adaptation of the game, to be honest, guys. It's from the same director who did the original Silent Hill, who's meant to be a huge fan of this game, but I don't think he done a good job here, unfortunately. I didn't like the original Silent Hill movie either. A lot of people like it. I didn't. The movie's not scary like the game. I mean, the game is one of the scariest games ever made, and they just don't translate any of that onto the screen. You are never feeling creeped out. You are never feeling the tension. You're just kind of bored half the time. But it gets higher up on this because I did like the aesthetic of it and the main actor. There was something there for that first 30 minutes that I really enjoyed. It's a bad month for movies, guys. It really is. So that is Return to Silent Hill. Coming in third place is going to be Grizzly Night, which was the last movie I watched in January. And this isn't really a horror film, to be honest, but I just threw it in there. The movie poster makes it look like it's going to be an animal attack film. And it's basically a dramatization of a true story that happened in the 70s, where they didn't have any bear attacks in this big wild nature park for years, and then 2 happened in one night, 2 separate occasions. And they still don't know why these bears attacked, what led them to attack that night. It just is a 1 in a million shot that this happened. Now, this is a very hard one to get my head. It's such a weird movie, but I did enjoy what I seen for the most part, more than the other films I've mentioned. Now, I like the group of characters, some of them. There's a lot of characters in this movie. I liked some of them. I'd say about 70% of the characters in this were fine. When the animal attacks happen, it looks like it's stock footage of these bears just walking around, you know, because they don't look like CGI or anything. It just feels like they've put stock footage in there. Because when they attack the sleeping bags and everything, it's edited in a way where it doesn't look like these bears are even interacting with the characters. But they edited it slickly, so it blended well. A lot of people, I don't think, would notice this, but I was really looking out for it. And once I seen it, I thought they haven't even bothered here, really. There's no bears in this movie that they actually had to film. I am 90% sure it was stock footage. And it's basically about the characters going to find these characters, these young girls who have been taken by these bears. And it's quite an upsetting story at times. You know, there's a little bit of emotion involved here and stuff. But overall, that's the gist of the film. People go missing, people go and try and find them. That's it. But it was a short run time. It was like 1 hour and 25 minutes. It kind of flew by, and I watched it and went, yeah, I enjoyed that more than the other films. But I did only give it 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. The next 2 films we're going to talk about are a lot better. So that is Grizzly Night. In second place is going to be Primate, which we got 3 weeks after the US. So that's just I keep mentioning it on this channel, guys, but that is a video for another time where I'm just going to do a big rant about release dates. But anyway, this is another animal attack movie, believe it or not. The third one we're talking about here, we had Killer Whale, Grizzly Night, and now Primate. And this is involving a chimpanzee. I had a lot of buzz about this before going to see it from Fantastic Fest last year and everything. Like a bunch of YouTubers who got to see this early. And this is directed by Johannes Roberts, who has made some, you know, fun movies, in my opinion. I liked Welcome to Raccoon City, to be honest. And it's basically about this family who have a pet chimpanzee called Ben. And the main girl of this family invites her friends over for the summer. And Ben gets infected with rabies and starts to take out the friends of this main girl one by one, and it becomes like a stalker movie where it's kind of like Michael Myers but as a chimpanzee, really, where he's lurking around the shadows, lurking around the corners. He's a very smart monkey and can basically use the house to his advantage and everything. And some of the kills in this film were awesome. I mean, they really just go for it with the practical effects. I thought the guy who played the monkey in the suit, done a really good job. It really did look real. I'm glad they didn't go down the CGI route. I didn't know this when I done my review. I just thought it was a guy in a suit, but also they use animatronics as well, which, again, I champion. And it was just a fun movie for 90 minutes where it basically just wants to get you in, give you a load of entertainment and get you out. There's no social message commentary on here, no mixed messaging. It's not trying to go over, far and beyond to try and tell you something in the background. It just is a movie for horror fans to go in, have a good gaudy time, and that's it. It feels like a movie from the 80s or 90s. We got a hell of a lot of them, especially slashers. And this is an animal attack slasher movie. So, yeah, it was all right. I liked the group of characters and everything in this film as well. My biggest complaint about it was the light, and it is way too dark, this movie. It did not need to be that dark, and it was really jarring at times to watch. So, I kind of wish they would have lit it up a bit. I would have bumped up my score in my review, but I still pretty much enjoyed this one. So that is Primate. In first place, though, is going to be 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Now, I loved 28 Years Later. I was very excited to see what Nia DaCosta was going to do with this sequel, and it delivered. I had a really fun time with this movie. I do prefer 28 Years just a little bit, but this is still great. This felt like a little bit more of a comedic movie, but more like black comedy, where you got Jack O'Connell and his little gang of Jimmies going around just killing everyone in sight because they are just evil little bastards. There's a background to it. It almost feels Manson-like with what he's doing there, corrupting these people to believe in his ideology and everything. And we've got Ralph Fiennes, who is the part of the other story, trying to connect with this alpha zombie virus-infected person from the first film and try and see if there's a little bit of humanity left in the monster. And it's all about basically switching back between these two stories until they sort of come together, and it just makes the movie even more awesome in the third act. But I thought this movie was hella violent. There was some really bloody moments in this movie, especially the barn scene. Jack O'Connell is absolutely tearing it up in this film. I love him when he plays villains, and he does a great job here. He's played so many villains in the past. Eden Lake, which is a brutal movie, and Sinners from last year as well. But here, might be my favourite performance he's ever done. Please give Jack O'Connell more villain roles because he just pulls it off, and he is having the time of his life. Ralph Fiennes is awesome in this movie as well. My big problem with it is I wish we got a little bit more of the Spike story. He's kind of in the background there after having such a strong arc in the first film. Here, he's just way over his head and trapped with these Jimmies. You kind of really feel sorry for him. There is a needle drop in this film involving a song that I love, and metal fans are going to love it. Best scene of the film by far, and I really can't wait to see where we go with part 3, because that ending just thought, that ending when I seen it, I just thought, bring on part 3 now, which has been greenlit, although this didn't do very well at the box office. So let's hope that still goes ahead, but I really do want that film now, and 28 Years fans definitely deserve it, because this has been a promised trilogy for a while now. But 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, such a solid film. I absolutely loved it. That is in first place. Okay, guys, hope you all enjoyed this ranking video. Have you seen any movies in January that I missed there? I mean, I'm trying to stick to horror films, but I did watch The Rip as well on Netflix. So they're the 10 movies I've seen. The 9 I've just spoke about and The Rip. But please do let me know if I missed any horror movies that I should check out. And leave your comments down below. Was I a little bit wrong with this list? I know there's a lot of Iron Lung fans out there. Please do let me know. Thanks so much, guys. You all take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.